Next up, Gina, internalizing founders' mindsets. What is the founder's mindset and what can you do to internalize it?
Yeah, so the founder's mindset, EF already provides a beautiful model of what this means, just in all the examples and materials and inspiring, like success stories that you get, right? Of just like embracing the risk and the failure and being willing to both go through the grind, right? Of just really getting the work done day to day, and also like being really ambitious in a way that like invites a bunch of pain and failure and struggle along the way, but like for the sake of that really grand, meaningful reward. And the internalizing part, I think that's where I come in, because it turns out that, like our psychologies, they have a kind of programmed default mindset to that, right? Like there's a way that we talk to ourselves, there's a way that there's like almost a culture to our internal life. And this is kind of like the technology for changing that inner culture over time by reinforcing and by practicing and sort of consciously reasserting that mentality in a bunch of the different moments of our day-to-day conscious life, of just like noticing, okay, how am I talking to myself? Is that how a founder talks to her employees? Like, is that how I want to be approaching myself? Or like, do I want to be approaching myself in an inspired and inspiring way? And then like consciously shifting that self-talk to reflect. And then it gets easier with time.
And are there any tips to getting into the habit of doing this?
Yeah, so I would say like keeping a journal, a lot of my tips come down to getting stuff down right on paper or virtual paper, or sticky notes on your phone, wherever, but in a kind of organized way, like checking in with yourself about, okay, which way am I talking to myself right now? Just like really monitoring the self-talk and the style of it. And like kind of chant, you can even name the different kind of voices that show up, in your head of like, okay, this is the nagging parent voice, this is the kind of like indulgent, lazy teen voice, they live in all of our heads, right? But like really knowing kind of and practicing and consciously reasserting the founder's voice, the like, let's like put Steve Jobs in there or put whatever's your personal model of like, put Alice in there, like, but kind of the what would Jesus do, but it's like the what would, my founder self, or what would Steve Jobs or whoever stands in for you as like the voice of that kind of honestly ambitious and like friendly and optimistic, but also, reality driven character. Like just really, really on paper and in your head as often as possible, just like making that a routine. Like, let me talk that way to myself.